So I wanted to do a long-term review and give you some updates on my Esker Hayduke. And right now I have it in my 29 wheel configuration. As you know, the Esker Hayduke can be switched around from 275 plus. If you look at how wide those seat stays and chain stays are, you just get a little bit tight in the seat tube if you go too big a tire on the 29er configuration, but obviously 275 plus, you don't have to worry about that. You can configure it with different types of dropouts, 142, 148, a single speed, or a single speed type slider type dropout. So I've got it in the 142 because that's the kind of wheels I had sitting around, and this was a lot of this is a parts bin build, and that's why I ended up having two wheel sets for it, because I wanted to get some extra use out of my nice old wheels that I saw nothing wrong with, and didn't really think that 148 meant a significant difference with my drivetrain or my spacing. It was just it was an unnecessary change. I think Boost 157 is a significant difference, but 148 I think is really insignificant in my opinion. So anyway, and as you know, I do single speeds with single speed hubs, and that's a significant difference when you run a single speed specific hub, but that's a different story, and I talked about that before. So here we are with the 29er setup. In my 29er setup, I have the race face arch 35 rims, which is the offset in the back, and then the front is not the offset. Not that that makes a difference, but I did that for the heck of it. And then the Sunrace cassette, which is an inexpensive cassette, and I only had to go up to 46 and I felt fine. I've got the XT brakes, and that's the new 4-piston brakes, XT pedals, race face 6C cranks. That was a parts bin because I had replaced them on warranty, and then they sent those to me because I didn't want to go through any more next cranks, so I got the 6C to make it a little burlier. I've got a dropper post. It's a Bontrager dropper post, not their top of the line one, but the second one down, which is pretty nice. And then paired to that dropper post, I've got the wolf tooth dropper lever, and that's just a super clean looking lever, very smooth actuating because it's got bearings in there. Got the wolf tooth bling kit. I didn't do the top cap because I wanted to have Esker, and I wanted to have that cool Esker with the wolf tooth combination, but the rest of it with the bolts and stuff like that, and the C-post collar. I don't think the C-post collar came with it. I got that separate. It's got the king cages. Those are the stainless steel cages. I figured steel cages for my steel frame. It's the Fox 34 factory 34 float, and that's a 130 millimeter travel, and with the 51 offset. And I've always been fine with the 51 offset. I've never felt like I needed my front wheel tucked back a little bit more, mainly because my bikes are hardtail, so they're not super long and super stretched out. I don't have super long reach hardtails, so you know, giving a little more like reach, if you will, or a little stretch with the fork telescoped it out a little bit forward, it was fine with me. As you can see, the reach is not super long, but it feels good. This frame is it's a 67 head tube angle, but that's with 30% sag. So as it sits, it's probably more like a 65 head tube angle, 65 and a half. So it is a little bit slacker than it looks on paper, because you don't realize that they're doing their measurements based on a 30% sag. So that's kind of an interesting way they do the geo on their geo chart. It's got the Renthal bars. I went ahead and got the aluminum bars. I saw no need to get the carbon bars for a heavy steel frame. I mean, I guess carbon bars if it were a tie frame or carbon frame, but if you got a steel frame, I mean, unless you're just trying to get bars to add a little more flex. Now I switched this Renthal stem. My friend had a Renthal stem, this one, the 50, and he wanted to try my 40. I put his 50 on and we switched it out, and I just love the 50. I think that's the that's the millimeter length I'm going to stay with, and it's a 31/8. I've never got on that bandwagon of the 35. I think 31/8 is fine. I don't feel like I need that extra stiffness, and I think people really kind of get that as a looks factor. And again, when we're talking parts bin and you're using and recycling old parts, it's kind of nice to just stick with the standard that's been around and it's still existing today. It's got XT brakes, of course, to go with the XT calipers. Both my wheels are set up tubeless. It's got the Maxxis DHF in front, and that's just a regular EXO casing, and it's got the Recon in back with the regular EXO casing, but then I've got a rim packed in there. No, actually this has a cush core, but I go back and forth between rim pack and cush core. It's got the SDG Bel Air saddle, which that's a, it's just a saddle, you guys. I don't overthink it, but that was the one that I liked at the time, and you know what, on a mountain bike you're not sitting all day on the saddle, so don't overthink it. I use these granite valve stems. Of course, that valve stem in there is a rim pack valve stem, because you have to have a tire insert valve stem when you have a tire insert, because it's a little bit different. And then this is, I forget which one that is, but that was one I just got on Amazon. Hadley Hubs, as you know, I wanted to get some more life out of these Hadley wheels and Hadley Hubs. So those are my gold Hadley Hubs that I took off a bike that I had before. It was my Bose FXR. And one thing about Hadley is the free hub body is titanium. And of course they're totally rebuildable. I've had new bearings put in this a couple times. Well, more than a couple times, but many times. And it's nice. You can just get the 6804 or 6805 bearings, and I don't have a bearing press, so I have my friend press them in there, but he has all Hadley hubs, and he's rebuilding hubs all the time, so I have him do it, and he doesn't charge me anything for it, so it's kind of nice. What else do I got going on here? Ergon Grips. I like the Ergon Grips. I've been using those on a lot of bikes. It's just kind of, if you look at the way that's kind of contoured, it kind of puts you with your elbows out, just by the way you hold on to the grips. They've got a nice feel, but I had some orange ones, but I boogered those up. What else do we got on here? I think that's it. Oh, wolf tooth headset. What's nice about the Esker is they come with these wolf tooth headset. Now, it's not the high-end wolf tooth headset, but Jesus, it's just bearings and a headset. If it goes bad, you could probably just drop a new set of seal bearings in there and upgrade it, or buy a new headset at that point. But don't overthink your headsets. I used to always get Chris King, or always get the high-end Cane Creek 110s, but anymore, if I'm going to get a free headset with my frame, I'm just going to use it. I don't really need to see the cheap. It's got the wolf tooth oval ring. I like oval for geared bikes, but I think it sucks for single speed, just because you don't get that extra power that you want when you're standing out of the saddle. It kind of eliminates that with the way the oval is shaped. So it's been fine on a gear bike. Makes you sit and spin a little bit better, but on a single speed you're not sitting and spinning. I put that little fender around there from Synchros. I think that's it. I'm gonna think of something after I end this video for sure. But anyway, I'm going to get ready to ride down my trails right here, and I just wanted to give you guys an update of my Esker Hayduke with the 29 wheel setup, and then I'll do another review with the 275 plus wheel, and then I got a surprise for you coming up with my new Esker Jaffe, and then I'll show you that build coming up. So thanks for watching, guys, and keep that rubber side down and enjoy your time on the trails.